This is a stimulus update and daily news report. Got some big updates to share with you. Senator Kristen Sinema finally on board with the Inflation Reduction Act. I'll give you more details on that. Social Security may get a big boost, and we'll talk about the $2,400 Social Security boost, as well as one Senate Republican who is against the Social Security program and may want to dismantle it. When it comes to a different type of stimulus program, there could be some type of rental relief. I'll give you details on that. Plus, if there's a recession, there is likely to be stimulus checks, according to one economist. $300 stimulus checks going out later this month, and today is the deadline for the $500 monthly checks, and I'll give you some other more important updates as well. Hope you're having a fantastic Friday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below. So, inflation crisis on steroids. Advocates urge Congress and Biden administration to help tenants facing rising rents. So, without quick action, too many more renters will fall into homelessness. So, finally, they're addressing this big problem here. What they're saying is what we can no longer do is look renting families in the face. Families now living in cars and garages and attics and storage sheds in the richest country on the planet, and tell those families, you know, we'd love to help you, but we just can't afford it. So they're saying that something needs to be done about the rising rent because rental prices have exceeded income gains by 325% since 1985. Meanwhile, property owners are seeking an opportunity in the scarcity of affordable available homes, are working to facilitate price hikes to make a profit, knowing that they have a captive tenant base. So basically what's going on is because landowners know that there is a small amount of homes and that these affordable homes need to be given, it's a necessity, then they're charging higher prices. As said before, families living in houses, living on the streets because of this. So there could be some type of rental relief coming. When it comes to inflation, inflation is costing the average American $616 in savings account withdrawals. So if what it's saying here is because of the high living costs, that inflation has prompted consumers to withdraw an average of $616 from their savings account to stay afloat. Probably more than that. Well, that's the average, but yeah, probably more than that, just to keep up with what's going on. When it comes to Social Security, a big fat raise to Social Security is coming, but will it be enough? So there could be a potential double-digit COLA increase. We'll find out in 2 months if that's going to be the case. But with inflation up and a recession about to happen, or we're in a recession right now. Not sure what the administration is talking about that with, but yeah, will it be enough? Well, in terms of a bigger boost that it would be separate from the COLA, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, and other Democrats want to pay retirees an additional $2,400 in their Social Security checks by raising taxes on the richest Americans. So that $2,400 boost still stuck in Congress, but will that be enough as well? Will the COLA increase double digits, maybe 10.1%, which is what they're saying, maybe as high as 12%? Will that be enough? And will a $2,400 boost be enough for you? Let me know your thoughts on that. When it comes to the critics against Social Security, self-serving multimillionaire Ron Johnson pushes to dismantle Social Security and Medicare. Johnson called to end Social Security and Medicare as mandatory spending programs. So, yeah, I guess this kind of shows that, you know, people who are millionaires and, you know, working in Congress, they have a different mindset. They're kind of living in a bubble and don't really know the struggle that a lot of people are going through. If you're watching this and you're struggling, I'm sure a majority of people in Congress have no idea what you're going through on a daily basis, how hard it is to pay for food, pay for rent, pay for utilities, and all the different sacrifices you might have to make. And it seems that Congress just has no idea what's going on in people's lives. So I don't think this is going to go through, but he just said it. When it comes to stimulus checks going out on a federal level, stimulus checks likely in next recession, according to economics expert. Now, the problem is there was a 2001 stimulus check for that recession, 2008 stimulus check for that recession. If we were labeled being in a recession, they would probably be most likely recession stimulus checks. But there's some semantics game going on right now, so the Biden administration is not admitting that we're in a recession. So, which would probably hold up some type of recession stimulus checks. So in terms of a federal stimulus check, most likely, if there was going to be one, it would be closer to the midterm elections in November. There's going to be a waterfall of different types of benefits. We're probably going to see the student loan forgiveness, maybe some type of stimulus check, the big bill passing, although that doesn't really do much for the American people, supposedly save Americans $1,800. But we're going to see a lot of different programs come out right before the midterm election. In terms of other stimulus, $300 Hawaii stimulus checks to start arriving later this month. So if you live in Hawaii and make less than $100,000, then you get a $300 stimulus check. If you make more than $100,000, you get a $100 stimulus check. And yeah, that should be going out later this month. And then when it comes to direct payments worth $500 every month available to eligible Americans, but you have just hours left to apply. So this is going on in Mount Vernon, New York, $500 stimulus checks. Actually, sorry, not $500 stimulus checks. $500 universal basic income checks are going out, and the deadline is today, August 5th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or New York time. So yeah, if you are in New York and you want to sign up, or in Mount Vernon, New York, and you want to sign up for a $500 monthly check, deadline is today. When it comes to the big package, Senator Kyrsten Sinema signs off on Democrats' big agenda bill, paving the way for Senate passage. So Democrats needed all 50 Democrats. Kyrsten Sinema, Joe Manchin were the two most difficult ones to get on board, and it looks like this just clears the path for Democrats to move forward with this big reconciliation deal. So I'll keep you updated with that. That should be very interesting over the next few days. Now that Kyrsten Sinema's on board, take a look at this video clip explaining more.
Breaking news tonight from Capitol Hill, where it appears there is a deal on the Inflation Reduction Act that even Kyrsten Sinema is satisfied with. What is not in it? Closing the carried interest loophole, which allows the richest of the rich, private equity giants, to pay less taxes than the rest of us. So let's bring in Leanne Caldwell, the author of the Washington Post, Early 202, and she's now got a brand new newsletter to write tonight. Leanne, let's put carried interest over to the side for a moment. This thing is a big, big win for Democrats, isn't it?
It absolutely is. This is something that, after it fell apart months and months ago, that no one thought it was coming back. There was some talk that perhaps they would get something. And then a deal last week with Senator Manchin and Senator Schumer shocked the political world, especially everyone on Capitol Hill. And Senator Sinema was the last outstanding issue. They had been working furiously to get her on the board for the past week because she was not involved in those previous negotiations. And now that she's on board, this really looks like it's going to pass. And this is going to be the most expansive, the biggest investment in climate change proposals this country has ever seen. There's a lot of healthcare priorities that are in this that are going to help seniors especially. But there's still some obstacles here. So you can't spike the football yet. But if Democrats get this done, this is huge for the midterm elections and huge for the Biden agenda.
All right, but let's bring back this carried interest issue, because preserving this loophole does absolutely nothing to help the people of the state of Arizona. The only people who are celebrating this are really rich private equity guys who are on mega yachts on the Mediterranean tonight. By preserving this loophole, does this not say to the American people, yes, big donors dictate policy?
Yeah, it's really difficult to understand the politics that Senator Sinema is putting forward here regarding ensuring that this loophole is not closed. You know, as far as Democrats are concerned, taxing the rich is still politically popular, even though Republicans are trying to hammer Democrats, saying that they are going to raise taxes. Well, most Americans, anyway, even a lot of independent voters, think that taxing the rich is okay. But, you know, Senator Sinema has been adamant about this from the beginning of these negotiations. She's been adamant on not raising the corporate tax rate above 21%, where it's at now. That's not in this legislation, in large part because of Senator Sinema. And so she really is bucking the party here on many of her tax policies. But they were able to come to some sort of agreement, but this loophole is still going to be open, Steph.
And it is not about additional taxes for the rich when it comes to carried interest. It's simply asking them to pay the same thing everyone else does. Leanne, I know you got to go work on that newsletter, so we will leave it there and dig deeper now with Michael Steele, former RNC chairman and former lieutenant governor of Maryland, and Steve Israel, former New York congressman, now director of Cornell University's Institute of Politics and Global Affairs. Steve, what's your response to this deal? A very big win for President Biden.
Well, it's a huge win and also well-timed. We are 95 days away from the midterm elections. Tough environment for Democrats. August recess is actually started. Now the House will be called back next week to vote on the Senate bill, assuming it passes. August is the time when members are out in their districts. They've got to have a message. The message has to reflect that we're making progress on the economy. Now they have that message, again, assuming the bill passes. Nothing could be more important to the Democrats' chances of retaining the majority in the Senate, and if not retaining the majority in the House, at least closing the gap, than the passage of this bill.
Michael, your take? Governing is about choices, and they made a choice tonight.
They did. And look, it was a great effort. I'm sure there was a lot of face time between Sinema and Manchin to carve out what was necessary to get this done. It is a big deal this close to the election. The Republicans now are going to have to find another layer of messaging to go to the country with. Is not enough to say, oh, they want to raise your taxes, they want to do all these bad things, because in this deal are some things that a lot of Americans want to see happen. It's not just a left-wing agenda. There's some really common sense things around health care and certainly the environment that people appreciate. So this is a big deal for the Biden administration. Now, here's the rub. How can they sell it? How well do they sell it? How do they make the case? How do they send it home? How do they get the candidates running in these whacked out districts with these whacked out Republican candidates on the defensive when they want to talk about all kinds of crazy conspiracies? Democrats now can look at those candidates and go, okay, let crazy do crazy in the corner. What we've done is we've provided your family and your community and our state an opportunity to move forward. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they craft that message on this very, very significant opportunity and win.
Steve, Joe Manchin is often the target of a lot of anger from other Democrats around the country, but getting something like this through, leading it, the fact that Joe Manchin, a wildly unpopular guy among a lot of his colleagues, who represents as a Democrat the reddest of red states, might he be, just the secret weapon for Democrats in the end?
Well, look, I know Joe Manchin well. I served with him. He's a friend, full disclosure. Not only with Joe Manchin, but with so many members of Congress, it ain't over till it's over. And you are only as unpopular as it takes to do something like Joe Manchin did and Senator Sinema to make you popular again. Most people knew that when reconciliation was pronounced dead, that the obituary was premature, that there was still time to get this done, that there would be extra innings. Now that we are, and the time frame for that was really where we are now. Democrats could not afford to go home in August without messaging, to Michael's point. Now they have the message, they have the bill, they have policy solutions. And Joe Manchin did come through for them at the end of the day.
So what are your thoughts on that? Is this bill going to go through? Should there be more stimulus provisions in this big bill? Should they try to sneak that in? Let me know your thoughts on that. And that is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully cheer you up a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, this is Bella. This is the tip of the day. I want to tell you one thing that you should do when you're sick. Eat good food, not junk food. Because then that has a lot of oil in it, and also you should drink water, tea, and other things that will make you feel better. And also one more suggestion. So I wanted to tell you that you have to stay healthy. Lie down, and watch movies, relax, and don't stress. Because then, if you have stress, you'll get really mad, and you won't calm down. You have to calm down, because that you have to breathe and also do other stuff that will help you. So, and also, that's all the suggestion that I wanted to tell you for today. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all of your support. So today is the last day of my juice fasts or juice cleanse or whatever. So haven't eaten anything since Sunday, and Saturday, tomorrow, will be my first meal. I've been drinking these. This is like carrot, celery, apple, things like that. Christine, my wife, and I, we juiced a bunch. And yeah, I'm excited to finally eat again. Feel pretty good. Lost weight. Not that I wanted to lose weight, but that was kind of like a byproduct. But I wanted to more just clean up my body, get healthier, have greater mental focus, yeah, all that good stuff. But anyways, hopefully you have a great rest of your day. If you want to check out any of my other videos or my other channels, you could click right up here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.